Isn't it annoying to hear people complain? Do you complain? So I used to complain all the time. I'm going to talk about the negative psychological effect that comes with complaining. That being said, today is day 4 of the gratitude challenge. Today's assignment is to go a full day without complaining. Now this may or may not apply to you. Either way, I do want to go over the negative effect on complaining so you have an awareness and you know how to protect yourself, shift yourself, and really bring in that positive energy. Here are 5 negative side effects on complaining. So the more you complain, it'll reinforce a negative mindset. So remember, thoughts become things. Thoughts create a feeling. Your mindset is what's set in here. Usually when we complain, by the time it is out of our mouth, there is a thought process. We do not want to be reinforcing the negative mindset. The more you complain, it straightens the pathway of neural negativity. So this is what I was just saying earlier. The thought creates a feeling. There's a whole thought process. But by the time that comes out to verbiage, it went through your neural pathway. There's a process that happens internally that's going to set up an energy and vibration. The third one is it does affect your mental health. Just think about it. When you're complaining or someone's complaining, they're painting a negative image. When we see a negative image in our mind, what is playing in our mind? We think in mental images. Let me just give you one great example, a red car. Let me know, comment below if you saw a red car, like you literally visualize it. So if you're complaining, this is that thought that is creating something negative, going through a neural pathway and creating a negative mental image. And that's what we don't want, because that's going to affect our mental health and that shapes the belief system. So when you see something that is negative, usually that is something that's bringing something down. And most of the time, that's the worst case scenario. And most of the time, when people are talking about that, they're thinking about the worst case scenario. You want to come from the best case scenario. And by complaining so much, it also impacts relationship. Let me just ask you one question. Do you like to hang out with someone that complains all the time? I'll tell you right now, I don't. And guess what? Misery loves company. So if you're hanging out with someone that's always complaining, they're looking for someone that they can complain with. So you have a choice. You can sit there and listen to them complain, or you could say, this is not for me, and you can walk away. I grew up in that environment, so it took a lot of work for me to completely shift away from complaining to being in this abundance, to shifting into the positive mindset. It is work. That's why when you give gratitude, it helps every step of the way. It creates a feedback loop of dissatisfaction. So what does that mean? That means if you're always complaining, you're seeing the negative. That's a negative mental attitude. That's not what we want. If you're in this challenge, we're looking to create a positive mental attitude. If a person is always looking at a negative, that's when the Debbie Downer comes in. That's where it's never satisfied. That's where all they see is nothing is good. And there's gonna be problems after problems after problems. And we do not want that, okay? So let's talk about creating that mental shift. So let's create the mental shift and shift away from complaining and go into positivity. So by doing that, the first thing is we're gonna rewire our brain. So you're gonna go into the positive thinking, the positive mental attitude, the positive mindset. You're gonna increase more self-awareness. Instead of looking at everything that is wrong, what about me? You know, one thing I've learned, I can't control outside. I can't control other people. I can't control what they think. But I can control what I think, how I behave, my thoughts, my feelings, my mood, my language. Shift the focus to solution. When people are complaining, it's usually because they're identifying the problem. The problem is not satisfying. I get it. It happens all the time. What's the solution? How can we stop it? And this is the one thing. The moment that I have shifted that thinking pattern and became my new, I felt like life became so much easy, that abundant and opportunity. I feel like that gave me the keys to open up every single door I needed to open. The thing is, it's so simple. I'm spending 5 minutes, I can sit here and be in misery and complain and think about all the negativity, or I can spend the same 5 minutes thinking about all the solutions, writing them down and act on it. And it feels great. It really does. Just try it. It boosts your emotional well-being. It makes you want to smile more. It makes life that much funner. Now I'm seeking all the good. There's so much good in life. Even when I make mistakes, I'm always looking at a win. You know, and it also improves relationship. Do you like to hang out with someone that has good energy, that's always lifting people up, or do you want to hang out with someone that is always complaining? I don't know about you, but I like to hang out with people who are talking about ideas, possibilities, uplifting, love. That That to me is fun. That to me is life. So let me give you some practical steps to stop complaining. So you might want to get a pen and paper and write this down. Number 1, track your complaints. The way I see it is when I have a complaint in my mind, I can write it down and I completely write the opposite out. So I'm not good enough. I am enough. I don't have enough money. I have more than enough money. I have overflowing. So write down the opposite, and then whatever complaint, negativity, self-talk, all that is in there, and burn it. Just write it down, burn it, keep the opposite, keep it as your affirmation. The second one is reframe the situation. So this is my favorite one. I always ask myself 2 questions when I'm going through something, I'm going through an experience. I'm like, what did I learn and what can I do better? What am I supposed to learn? Why is God or the universe putting me through this? What am I supposed to learn from this? And what can I do better? One thing I want to remind you, your self-worth is not your outcome. Every single experience that we are going through, we are just learning and growing into something. The more miserable I have felt, I actually accelerated. That's where my growth sprout comes in. That's when things are disrupted because I'm learning what's not working and I'm reapplying everything that is working. And that gives you the awareness. Okay, the third one, which applies to this challenge, which is practice gratitude. Everything that comes into your way, be grateful for it. I'm grateful for you watching this video, even if it's just 1 of you or 5 of you or 10 of you or 100 of you, it doesn't matter. You're investing your time into this video and it makes me very happy. So I'm grateful for you. Every little thing, because you're learning and you're growing. And then the last one is surround yourself with positive influences. Are you hanging out with people that's complaining all the time? Or are you hanging out with people that are coming out with creative ideas, positive energy, lifting each other up, and really being here to support one another? You examine that, you determine that, and you make those changes for yourself. I have resources below that you could download. And if you know anyone that could benefit from this challenge, go ahead and share it with your friend, like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and comment. I look forward to see you tomorrow. And this is Lillian, sending you so much love.